You are listening to the Capital PTBO Sports Show, an MNC podcast production, and watching on your TV, Peterborough Lindsay. The team here is myself, Jordan, Mercier, main event Mark Million, and the maestro Matt Latour on the soundboard. Gentlemen, what is going on today?
Okay.
Do you need your phone? I can go up and get it if you want.
I think I'll be fine.
Yeah? Okay.
I just have a couple of notes on there. It's nothing serious.
I know you like the Score app.
I do enjoy going to the Score app because I want to be sure if I'm going to reference something in particular on the fly. Okay, we have like an unofficial hydrator here, and we won't mention them by name.
No.
But, like, grow up on your drink selection. I'm a man, and I enjoy the odd libation, a Coke Zero, if you will, a Diet Pepsi sometimes.
Doesn't have either of those.
Nothing.
He's got adult drinks like Coke and Pepsi.
No, those are not adult.
Yeah, they are. That's what adults drink. He's also got Coke, or not Coke Zero, Diet Coke. And a bunch of energy drinks.
Diet Coke. Have you ever seen, remember like the 45th president or whatever? That guy's whole life was Diet Coke. He looks like it.
Donald?
Yeah.
Well, if you want to come down and check it out, we can give you a water bottle at the Capital PTBO at 370 George Street. Online anytime at thecapitalptbo.ca. Gentlemen, we got a lot of stuff to cover and a lot of ground to cover on this. I'm going to give you one little difference in this show. We are going to do the Way Back Wednesday quiz, sort of. I tweaked it this week. You got to keep it fresh.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't be the same thing all the time.
Keep some
so
wanting
actually,
more.
we're going to have sort of a one-on-one shootout. So I'm going to throw out a topic, and then whoever gets the most answers wins. Okay. It is not this one, but if I were to say to you, American League MVPs, and then we just go. Whoever gets the most ends up winning the championship. That is not, by the way.
Oh,
Okay.
so it's just name as many as possible.
Yeah.
Like shotgun format.
Yeah.
But one. Now, what if Latour...
It's like Stump the Schwab. At the
like-
one segment on Stump the Schwab where they would have to go back and forth, and then whoever was...
What if you rock a gooser? What if, right out of the gate, you strike three called, it's over? Can the other guy just continue to go in?
Jordan's going to do something like Virginia-born players to throw a no-hitter.
No.
And that's going to be a goose egg.
Listen. I made it very sport watcher friendly that I
Okay.
don't think we would get anything crazy like that.
Okay.
So I'm excited. We're also going to have weekly headlines coming up. Rob Gronkowski has decided to call it a career, so we'll have a little football talk. Brooks Koepka joining Liv.
Yeah.
The latest one. We'll get into
big
that
one.
a little bit later. And will Aaron Judge break the home run record? And by that, I mean Roger Maris's 61. He was on pace a couple of days ago for 65. Yes, I'm that guy who doesn't acknowledge the 73s.
Yeah, absolutely.
The world, okay? So we're going to stay in on that. But first, of course, we have to talk about the Stanley Cup Final. The Stanley Cup Final through 3 games. Game 1 was interesting. Games 2 and 3, not exactly what I would call super entertaining, very lopsided. But what we have through 3 games is the highest scoring final in 40 years.
Yeah.
Not since 1982 when it was the Islanders and the Canucks who combined for, I think, 24 goals through the first 3 games. We're at 22 in this series. So what have been your thoughts to this point? Or has it been somewhat what you've expected?
No, not what I expected. Game 1, Tampa Bay, and they've had this every night. They get out of the blocks slow. They're down 2-0, 12 minutes into game 1. They were down infinite in game 2. Last night, 2 nights ago, they go goal scored, offside. Then they score again, like 90 seconds later, and you're thinking, holy smoke. Like, if it's not for the starts on these clubs, they would actually, Tampa might win one, because you start to think, here we go again. You know, Vasilevsky's just all of a sudden gone Civ mode and allowing everything. That game 3 result, I think Tampa Bay opened it up, played a little bit different. They weren't trying to, they're trying to run and gun with Colorado. I would be more upset if I was Colorado letting in 6 than Tampa letting in 7, because that's 7 for Vasilevsky's an aberration. 6 for Francouz and Kemper, maybe run of the mill. Maybe.
Have you been entertained with the first 3 games?
No.
The first game for sure.
Yeah, first game was great.
The second game was entertaining if you like watching 20,000 people sing at the same time. That's about it.
Yeah,
All
sure.
the small things.
Which was cool. I think this
Blink-182.
series showed us with Tampa Bay what we already knew is that, they're never really out of it until it's over. Like they lost game 1 to the Leafs 5-0 and they lose game 2 to Colorado 7-0 and they come back and they bounce back with a huge win each time. And, a 6-2 win, that's a pretty convincing win. It's not like you're getting by in overtime on a shot from the blue line.
I should insert a little comment here that if you're watching this on your TV, Peterborough Lindsay, we are aware that Game 4 has since been played. But as we record this show, Game 4 has not been the case. So, no, we are not out of our minds. It's the tricky part of broadcasting a little bit ahead of time. So, we talked about Tampa Bay in terms of the heart of a champion. And I think I always come back to that quote that you can't underestimate a team that's been there, done that, been down. They lost 7. It was almost in a weird way, and I don't know if athletes would agree with this, but from a fan standpoint and a superstition standpoint, sometimes I'd just as soon lose 7-0, then lose 3-2 again in overtime.
Sure.
And be like, could have had it, should have had it.
Yep.
Because when you lose 7-0, you sort of like just throw it away.
Right.
Okay, forget about it. It wasn't our night.
How many guys are skating hard for 60 minutes when you're down 5-0?
Exactly.
No, right, for sure.
100%.
You know what I did like about Game 2 quickly? John Cooper goes to Vasilevsky and says, "You want to come out?" No.
Yeah.
He says,
in?
"I don't want anybody else to get any part of the net. I want the net 100% of the time." Jeepers, like for in a 7-0 blowout, you think,
Most guys would be dying to get out.
Yeah,
of there.
you can give Brian the third period, no big deal. Give Elliott the third period, we're fine. No, give me the whole thing, coach. All right.
Conn Smythe update, Cale Makar. Right now, runaway favorite. Of course, that's if the Avalanche win or at least even make it to Game 7, probably. -150. The interesting thing, despite the performance the other night, Andre Vasilevsky has actually overtaken Nathan McKinnon at +380 if you're looking at Bodog. So that's interesting. I mean, he'd have to go on quite a run.
Yeah.
But that being said, Nathan McKinnon, the scary part for if you're Tampa Bay is he hasn't scored yet in the series.
Yeah, right. Legit, 1 assist.
Yeah.
And a second assist at that. Didn't even set it up.
National Hockey League Awards. Do you like how they approached it this year? Leaking out some of the non-sexy ones, if you will?
No, I don't like that. I kind of liked you could give me the Alex Trebek, Las Vegas sort of. I liked that award show. It made it different than what the other leagues do. Like the MVP in the NBA, they announced during the finals. Yes,
I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah, and in the NFL, it's kind of like the NFL doesn't have that same sort of pedigree when it comes. They also don't have 12 individual awards like the NHL does. But I kind of liked it. You make a night of it. It gets a little bit rinky-dink when you've got Nickelback open for them 1 year.
We don't need Rob Riggle hosting a 2-hour
Yeah, Rob
show.
Riggle, like that. That's
He's never
painful.
been my cup of tea.
No.
That's the one thing I would say about and with all due respect to the National Hockey League, I don't know if it commanded the star power that you were looking for in an award show.
Yeah.
It always felt a little bit, you said rinky-dink, like lesser than, like not the ESPYs.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like a Canadian TV show. Like,
Sure.
It's the same product you're watching. It's still a TV show, but something feels a little different about it.
Yeah.
Just throw Jerry D.
It's a
up there
great
every
analogy, Canadian TV, because that's exactly what it is. Like the ESPYs is different, and you can get there's a way bigger cross-section of athletes and a way bigger cross-section of star power. I mean, even then you can invite in, if you're bringing the Williams sisters in, you're bringing in Will Smith. Because they have those sort of you were.
Are
anyways.
you now?
Well, you're not anymore.
I don't know.
But
Not
with
anymore.
King Richard, so,
Yeah.
with that sort of, hockey doesn't have that. Never has, never will. And that's okay. I kind of like it.
We're getting Charles Barkley at finals games, though.
Yeah.
Him calling, was it Kyle
Bukakis or whatever.
Bukakis.
Canada's
Muskakis?
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's
I
quite
thought-
the compliment.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kyle's supposed
He had
to
a
be
few
getting that.
blender daiquiris before he went on and did that.
I'm pretty sure he
But he
did.
came across really well because Charles Barkley is super likable. But that's quite the moment when you're referred to as Canada's Charles Barkley. Canada's Tom Brady. That is for sure. I don't know. Like, to me, and they've tried to do this because they've tried to make award shows sleeker. They've tried to do that all the way across the board. Yet there are still some awards that I'm like, like, I feel like the Selkie's always a little bit disrespected.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice award.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a more creative way that you could have done it than leaking it out. But I guess this way it kept them on the front pages longer.
Yeah, and you're on, in between on off days or whatever. It gives, another talking point.
Is it just too late in the year for hockey? Like, I feel like I said this last year when we were doing the Cup final in July because of the weird delays. But it's June. Right now it's June 21st, and we're 3 games into the Cup final. We could still have another week of hockey. And, I mean, I look outside, it's like 25 and sunny. I don't care to watch hockey right now.
I would say collectively, the office that I work in, which is full of rabid sports fans, even with all the storylines in the Stanley Cup final, collectively, have we watched 30 minutes of each game? Like, I'm almost going to game in an hour and, like, flipping through and catching it. And if it weren't for doing this podcast, I probably wouldn't pay attention to it at all.
Sure.
But obviously, we need to be up to speed on the storylines and stuff. But, yeah, that's a good question. Like, is there a cutoff point? I mean, if you're of a certain era, the Cup used to be handed out basically late May.
Yeah, that's right.
And then it was like, okay, well, we're going to add and make everything 7-game series and another round and all this stuff. And
because you can't start any earlier because you already start preseason in September.
I feel like you get to June 15th and you're sort of...
Yeah.
Like the Memorial Cup as an example.
Yeah,
Memorial Cup kicks off a couple of nights ago.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. For me,
going head to head with the Stanley Cup final,
right?
Memorial Cup.
That's bold. That's very bold. That's a different audience,
Super bold.
though. That's like the diehard junior hockey fans that watch it.
It is. You're right. I can get behind that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm keeping an eye though on the Edmonton Oil Kings because selfishly, the Red Wings' first-round pick is their goaltender, Sebastian Casa. So
I just want Mason McTavish. I like to see him do well. They lost to St. John the other night, though.
Yeah, they did. That is right. Do we get an update on the Capital PTBO Bracket Challenge, supported by David Dixon of IG Wealth Management?
Absolutely, we do.
The buzz, you want to talk about maybe the interest waning on the Stanley Cup final, actually?
Yeah.
Not on this.
Not on this.
The trash talk is as vibrant as it's been.
So, we get into the fatal four-way. There are 4 players left. Garrett Sacherty at 1, Shane Forbes at 2, Mark Millian Sr. at 3, Team Providence, Mike Watt, and Larry at 4. Now, Sacherty is out. He has no players left. He went all in on Oilers, all in on Leafs, demoed his way all the way through the first 3 rounds, and he has no horses left in the race, so he's going to finish 4th. Mike Watt has had and Larry have had a very respectable go. They're currently about 80 points behind the leader, so they're going to finish comfortably in at 3rd place. But the 2 Goliaths, Shane Forbes, Mark Millian Sr., they're within 2 points of each other.
That close.
Wow. Now, Millian Sr. has 4 players left. Hagel and Colton, who have been invisible for Tampa. They got a point in Game 3. Nathan McKinnon, we're going back to, my dad has McKinnon, who's also not registered a point. And they both have Landeskog, where Forbes has Landeskog and Rantanen. And Rantanen has been an animal. So they're both currently within 2 points of each other. Each goal and assist is worth 4 points. So if Rantanen continues the pace and Hagel and Colton and Landeskog, or Hagel, Colton, McKinnon don't get it done, somebody's going to walk home with a G note.
I'm amazed that we were able to put together this huge tournament. It's going to come down really to the final couple of games.
It's going to come down to what happened in Game 4. At the minimum, you're going to play, as of when we recorded this, it's guaranteed 5 games. There's 2 more games guaranteed. We'll see what happens. It's going to be close.
That is the update on the Capital PTBO $1,000 bracket challenge, supported by David Dixon of IG Wealth Management. Matt, we do have an email here. Well, we've got a couple of them, actually.
So I got to play it a few times.
Yeah.
No.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
There you go.
On that note, Internet Explorer finally went down.
Yeah, I read that.
Right? They had 0.0065% of the searches Like, I don't even know how many that translates to. It's like 0.006%.
Do you remember when would it have kind of gone out of fashion? Last 3-4 years?
I stopped using it completely about 10 years ago. Like once Chrome started to pick up.
Yeah.
Because I used Firefox even before Chrome.
It was surprising how many people are still using Mozilla Firefox. Like, it's like 20-some%.
Now it seems like everyone's either, if you're like an Apple, you've got Safari.
Yeah.
But then it seems like anything PC is either Microsoft Edge or Chrome.
Yeah. What about Bing? Isn't Bing still a thing?
I feel like
Microsoft.
Bing was never in my wheelhouse.
I think Bing was like the homepage of.
I know. After Microsoft got like the antitrust suit and everything, and then they started reinventing things, they brought it like Microsoft Bing. It sucked.
I'm so fascinated with point in time where you look back and something that was so big just ceases to exist.
Yeah, it disintegrates.
So, for example, MSN Messenger, which my entire youth was like, okay, this is what you did. This is how you talk to girls. This is how you do everything.
Oh, yeah.
And then one day it was like Facebook introduces Messenger, and then Microsoft kind of gets out of it, so it becomes Windows Live Messenger, and it's not quite the same product. And then just gone.
What is like Skype? Skype just died one day.
Skype died too.
Teams like took it out to the back shed.
And
Zoom.
Skype was too early.
Yeah.
That was too early. They could have hung on for a couple of years. They would have been into it. Bang.
They didn't fine tune it
No.
the way that it needed to be. Okay, Alex, I like this question, and I want you to sit on this and marinate for a minute. Give me one athlete that you hated, and then maybe he joined your team or played for your country or whatever, and then you ended up absolutely loving him. Has there ever been an athlete or a player in any sport where you hated him or her, and then you flip the switch and are like, and now you're just like, wow, I can't believe that. I absolutely love that person.
I've got one. It's in basketball. Lonzo Ball. I hated Lonzo Ball mainly because of his dad, like everybody else. And then he played for the Pelicans, and I watched him play. I was like, oh, he can actually defend. He can't shoot for his life, but he can defend. He makes good plays. And now he's gone again, and I haven't heard much from LeVar in a few years. But yeah, Lonzo's one of those guys for me that I couldn't stand unless he was on my team.
LeVar is on the Internet Explorer train.
No,
This
big
guy
time.
was
Yeah, no
basically
kidding.
in absolutely everything.
You want to talk point in time? Him saying he could beat Michael Jordan one-on-one was like the talk
That
of the
was
summer.
heroic.
Undefeated, never lost.
Yeah,
The famous
get out of
internet
here.
little clip.
For me, it was LeBron. Yeah.
Take me back. So you did not like LeBron early Cleveland.
No, I loved him.
Okay.
Right out of Akron, right out of St. Mary's, he was a stud right out of the gate. He quits on the Celtics in Game 6, or he quits against the Celtics in Game 6 against Cleveland, or with Cleveland, and you knew the writing was on the wall. He's going to the three-peat. You didn't know he was going to. But when he Jim Grayed the thing, Brothers and Sisters Club of America. Okay, what are you going to do? I'm going to take my talents to South Beach. And immediately, my Facebook thing for years was Dan. I forget his name now. The owner of the Cavs. Somebody will
Gilbert.
Gilbert. Dan Gilbert.
Danny Gilbert.
Right, and Gilbert writes that Comic Sans letter, like Comic Sans font letter about how we're going to win one before you do, and I hated that.
That aged like milk.
Oh, my God.
It was bad.
So LeBron was it. When he went to Miami, I hated it. I was against him and the big three. I was more than happy when they got beat. And then when he went back to Cleveland, and 2016 really cemented it for me. He went back, did the right thing, coming home, that block on Iguodala. Give me that every time. I still pop when I see it. LeBron for me.
I'm going to go hockey on this one. And a gentleman by the name of the Golden Brett.
Oh, wow.
Brett Hull. Okay, I was too young to understand why is a Canadian guy playing for the U.S.
Yeah, born in Belleville.
Born in Belleville, Ontario. And then a lot of it had to do with, he wasn't highly touted and he wasn't asked to play for Canada and blah, blah, blah. He was a dual citizen. If he wanted to do the national team, that's what was going to end up having to happen was he was going to play for the United States. But even consuming him as, a Wings fan and him playing for St. Louis and, early on in my life, St. Louis kind of had the upper hand in that rivalry. Very brash, very outspoken. Everything today I love and I think the game needs is like Brett Hull. And then, he goes to Dallas. He gets the foot in the crease goal.
Yes.
Just everything about I just thought, this is not my guy. I don't like this guy. Then he signs a contract with the Detroit Red Wings. Comes over, does a great job over 3 years, helps them win the 0-2 Stanley Cup, leads the team in goals with 10. And now he's like one of my all-time favorites.
Right.
Like, I love him.
Now
I love everything he did. All the way up until the St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup parade where he was totally drunk.
Where he was Gloria.
We went Blues.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
We went Blues. Gloria.
I can't think if there's any in hockey for me because being a Habs fan, a lot of Bruins and Leafs don't come to Montreal. Well, at least not in my lifetime.
Yeah.
There was a time where Vincent Danfus played for both. Russ Cordnall played for both. Like, there was a lot of guys that were between the two clubs for whatever reason.
I'll answer for my father here, who would say Frank Mahovlich.
Wow.
So as a lifelong Montreal Canadian fan, of course, Frank Mahovlich, a fixture of the dynasty Maple Leafs
Yes.
of a certain time, spent a little bit of time in Detroit, comes to Montreal and is pretty much as good as ever before he goes to the WHA.
Yeah.
And, my dad did a pretty quick 180 when Frank Mahovlich was helping them win the Stanley Cup.
Right.
If there's hardware involved, it's
Sure, that's different. Yeah, you're on a run.
It's usually pretty good. I think that might be the only one that I would think of in that context.
I would, to an extent, and it wasn't even that I disliked him. It was just he was so lukewarm to me until he played for the Habs with Shea Weber. Because, I saw him as the slap shot guy. And I was like, oh, what else?
The guy who almost shot as hard as Chara, and that was sort of his.
Yeah, and then he came to the Habs. I'm like, oh, he's a leader, and he's the only one on this team that's willing to kill somebody. And Shea Weber, thank you for your service. Vegas Golden Knight star.
Yeah,
what do you
Golden
make?
Knights.
What do you make of the deal? Had to be made.
Yeah,
They had to get rid of him.
It's all LTI, right? Like they want to keep that open in case they have to put Carey Price on the LTI. So I get it in that sense because Price is a lot closer to coming back, it seems, than Weber.
And Davidov.
I'm surprised to get anything for him.
Right. He's damaged goods though, right? Like Vegas had him.
He's got a year left, not 4.
Right. But Vegas they had him dealt, and then they had to bring him back. It was like a whole thing, and the guy makes what is he, $5.5 million?
Makes a lot of money, but
makes a lot of money, but he'll be on the fourth line.
1 year instead of 4. That's the big thing.
Sure. Yeah. It's a good deal for both sides.
I could give you one more example, and it's not a player, but it's a coach. I hated Lou Piniella.
Wow.
Lou Piniella, to me, when he was with Seattle and then Tampa Bay or whatever.
Sure.
Again, really loud, really brash, famous for blowing up.
Yeah.
And just something about I didn't really like those. I appreciated Ken Griffey, but I didn't like Buhner and A-Rod and Randy Johnson and like that. I never liked watching games that were in the Kingdome. It was sort of like this bluish green turn. It didn't look good on TV.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, they rejig him and they bring in Lou to coach, my Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
And they win a couple of division titles, didn't go any far in the playoffs, but he had a few blow-ups there that were pretty iconic. I thought, you know what, I really like Sweet Lou.
Yeah, he was that late 80s, early 90s Cincinnati Reds where they
Bad
were like,
boys.
they had the bad boys, they had the nasty boys in the
Nasty
bullpen
boys,
with Rob Dibble.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like his signature. He was also a little bit more mellow. As what was he coaching? His like late 60s with the Cubs, so he toned her down a little bit. But
that would be another one of a guy that I really didn't care for, and then all of a sudden I was like, okay.
That's a good question. Who sent that one in?
Alex sent that one in.
Good stuff, Alex.
It's a good one.
Another email here, Matt.
You've got mail.
You boys like to talk about Top Gun a lot. What about Elvis? # long live the king. Jamie, do you see the trailer for this new Elvis movie?
No, who's playing Elvis?
I don't know who it is, but Tom Hanks is Colonel Tom Parker.
Is that right?
What's the movie called? Is it just
It's
Elvis?
literally called Elvis. And it comes out
gosh.
this week. And it's like 159 minutes. Apparently the director came out and said there is a 4-hour cut of this movie.
Wow.
Austin Butler is his name. Never heard of him.
In some scenes, they make him really look like Elvis. In other scenes,
I think that's
so
probably a super, super hard role.
Yeah.
Like to cast for.
it is a hard life to cover.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people, in my opinion, are too big for movies. I thought Muhammad Ali was sort of too big for a movie. Ali had good parts, but not great.
No.
They tried to do it with Babe Ruth, right? With
Yeah.
John
No.
Some people are just so big. That's why I don't think we'll ever see like a Frank Sinatra movie. I know Martin Scorsese sort of played around with it. Maybe Leo, maybe not. Ray Liotta did a HBO movie, I think, as Frank Sinatra.
That's
in the
right.
Rat Pack. But some people are just so gigantic that unless you're just looking at a point in time.
Right, like they did with Ali.
Like they did with Ali, or like they did with 61, the HBO movie, where it was like, okay, we're not going to tell you Mickey Mantle's life story, but we can capture the 1961 season between him and Roger Maris.
Right.
Put it right here.
Here's the lens. Right.
That I think you can do. But this Elvis movie, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. So this was obviously just based on that kid's picture. This is going to be early 50s. This is going to be on the rise. He's on Ed Sullivan. You know, this isn't Aloha and from Hawaii.
I think they get a little white suit Elvis.
Yeah. Where
like white suit Elvis is so crazy. And he's in like kung fu and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So just based on his age, Austin Butler is 30 years old.
Yeah.
We're not getting a death scene.
No, you don't want that. Elvis going to the bathroom and calling it a night.
Smell-o-vision movie. Come on. No?
I don't get the reference. Smell-o-vision.
I got into an argument, not to sidebar, but because my friends know that I'm a bit of an Elvis mark, a little bit of a musical historian, you know. Mm-hmm. And I could go on for days about Elvis Presley and the importance of him and all this stuff, and even some of the negatives, right?
Sure.
How he was scooping black music and doing.
Yeah.
I can get into that. They said to me that they don't think in 50 years anyone will care about Elvis.
Oh.
And they say that he was a gimmick like the Spice Girls. That was the
Get out of here.
I thought I was going to have to.
You're going to have to get, it's going to come to blows. The guy's coming up on 50-year anniversary of his death.
Yeah.
And he's still one of the highest grossing artists.
Yeah.
Like posthumous every year.
Okay, but I get the argument. How many people that died 100 years ago do you still care about their music? Because you're talking 50 years from now.
No, but I think, yeah, and I mean, now we're getting down the rabbit hole over here. But
Al Jolson.
Well, I don't know Big Al, but this guy changed the narrative of what rock and roll. He brought rock and roll into what it was. Changed so many things. He's the preeminent icon. 100 years, 50 years from now, you're going to be 100 years after he's been dead, and they're still going to have Elvis Presley channel.
The opinion that was shared was, and they were thinking, again, because they're not huge music fans, at least of that era, was that fat white suit Elvis.
Oh, right.
The cartoon character and whatever. They didn't
Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah.
They didn't see the other
Peanut Butter Banana Sandies. Like, okay,
Elvis,
we get
like
it.
pre-army Elvis.
Vittorio Monti died at 54 in 1922. Legendary composer.
Get out of here.
He was iconic. Music was a little bit different.
He changed the game.
Yeah, that was a little bit
Beethoven,
different.
He's timeless.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The argument that was used was that it's not uncommon for kids, probably even today, but definitely in my time, to be listening to the Rolling Stones or the Beatles.
Sure.
Their music sonically translates probably a little bit better than your 50s Sun Records, Hound Dog type music.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Like, you're not going to be in a hallway at a school in here.
Yeah, right. Kentucky Rain.
Yeah. Like,
no.
First of all, that's just a gimmick song. But second of all, and I kind of understand that, and I appreciate that. Some of that's just technology. Like, it advanced quite a bit over a 10-year period. But I'll always go back to one of my favorite expressions of all time. Before anyone did anything, Elvis did everything, right?
Oh, yeah, that's beauty. I like
Tom Hanks is involved, so the movie can't stink.
No, it'll be good. Another thing, we'll save this for an evergreen episode. Let's rack this for another one. Mm-hmm. The Rolling Stones are overrated. Overrated.
I got some hot music takes too.
Tune in to that one, team.
That'll be an hour of just
I
our
guarantee
terribly hot music.
Mercier's going to rip his shirt off here. He's so mad about it. But trust me, they're overrated.
Wow.
Anywho.
I make the same argument about the Beatles. Yeah, we need to have just a straight music moment. Thank you for the emails, by the way, Jamie and Alex. Two very, very good questions. Weekly headlines. Rob Gronkowski calls it a career 11 seasons, 4 championships. Firstly, I'll throw this out to you, Matt. Is he actually gone?
I'll believe
or
it when
the
I
Buccaneers
see it.
are 10-2 and Tom calls him, he'll come back for a couple of games.
I'll believe it when I see it. Rob Gronkowski feels like the guy doesn't know what to do. Remember he was in WWE for 8 hours? Won like a 24/7 championship and then retired because he wanted to go play football again. He has no idea what to do. I don't trust the guy a little bit. He's gonna hop on whatever team. It might even just be the Buccaneers again when they're really hot at the end of the year. It might be the Chiefs. Who knows?
Does it cheapen it? If he does come back in week 8, week 6, week 10, goes out with Tom, Tom happens to win the 100th Super Bowl or whatever that'll be in like 11 Super Bowl appearances, does it demean it if Rob comes back in week 6 and wins?
Absolutely.
I
don't think he cares.
He's a hired gun at this point, no?
Yeah.
He's 33 years old. He's still huge. Probably still catch a ball.
Definitely.
But if you're a team down the stretch and you're in week 7, week 8 and it's trade deadline time, are you not having a conversation with Rob like, we need a tight end. We're Dallas Cowboys.
What do you got? Yeah.
Someone's going to say to him, you can have a ring for every finger on your hand, and then he'll come back just like that.
Right.
That's all he needs.
I don't like it. Personally, I think it's a bit gimmicky. Justin and I were talking about it today. When you retire, you retire. You don't retire and
Brett Favre.
come back, Roger Clemens. Clemens did it for different reasons, for Hall of Fame reasons. But
Clemens, Brett Favre, Tom Brady, literally like 10 minutes ago.
literally.
Did the same exact
Our
thing.
first episode of this show was talking about Tom Brady's retirement.
Yeah.
And our second episode was about his comeback.
Guy Lafleur,
Michael Jordan,
Mario Lemieux.
a couple times.
Michael Jordan, yeah.
In my opinion, Rob Gronkowski, from what I've seen, is the greatest tight end ever to play at his position.
Oh,
there were years where I thought he was the most dangerous offensive weapon
Absolutely.
in football. And I don't know, like, he's not going to have, just by virtue of the games that he missed, he doesn't have the most catches for a tight end. He doesn't have the most yards.
Right.
He doesn't have the most touchdowns. It doesn't matter what I watched. And then someone would say, well, you throw Tony Gonzalez into that system, maybe it's different. But he was unbelievable. And he was one of the most impressive athletes I've ever seen, like in terms of sheer size, speed. He could do it all. There was nothing more terrifying than seeing Rob Gronkowski.
Who's the closest guy now to like a prime Gronkowski? Is it Kelsey?
I think Kelsey's pretty clutch.
He has
I think he's got
Chase.
great hands.
Who's the guy in Baltimore? Andrews? He's a big guy,
Andrews.
too.
Yeah. I think,
San Francisco.
yeah.
Oh, George Kittle.
Yep.
Kittle.
Yep.
I think Kittle's probably.
But I don't think any of those guys are what Gronk was.
You look at those guys even in the 90s, the guys that brought that position to prominence. Shannon Sharp and Jay Novacek and these guys. Go back and look at Gronkowski, the 50 touchdown year.
Yep.
And look at his numbers when it was Aaron Hernandez. Like, Rob was still a weapon then, and Hernandez was an animal that 1 year before, obviously, things went down.
Yeah.
Gronkowski, well, he's a killer, for sure.
Pretty impressive stuff. It'll be fun to watch. But if that is it for him, 11 seasons, 4 championships.
Yeah.
Was a big factor in most of those. Brooks Koepka has decided to join Live. We're still on the Live story. This maybe makes more news because obviously it's a major name. It's another major name. But also, Brooks was the one who did a press conference before the U.S. Open and kind of said, like, stop bringing this up, and it's casting a shadow, and blah, 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 blah.
The U.S. Open is sacred to me.
U.S. Open sacred.
So he played the sacred tournament hoping
They literally
he'd win
asked him, is there a dollar figure you'd consider to go over to Live? And he's like, well, I haven't really thought about that. Clearly he had.
Clearly he signed the deal.
How did he do at the U.S. Open? Oh, like 55th?
He struggled in majors this year.
He has, yeah.
Shot a 7 over. I guess everyone was over par, though, like for the most part. But yeah.
Liv keeps getting the headlines. Liv keeps getting the headlines.
So, interesting. A couple of things I've listened to about this. I listened to an interview with Colin Montgomery. And he said this is kind of like the comeuppance of the PGA Tour. Mm-hmm. Does the PGA Tour do the exact same thing to the European Tour? Where they started flashing big money around and trying to drag these guys like Colin and these guys to get them to come to America and, kind of usurped their sort of, their sort of tour. The other side of it is, and this is the interesting side, like Koepka, obviously, I don't know why athletes do this. I have no idea. There's thousands of cases of this where the athlete is, no, absolutely not. I'm against that. The next week, they're literally in the same bed with what they just disagreed with the week before, right?
Why don't leave yourself an out?
Why don't you leave yourself an out? Yeah. The thing with Koepka is this. He's got 4 majors.
Yep.
So they will continue to invite him. But he'll only be able to play in the majors that he's won. When you're not acquiring world points, in the world tour, you won't be able to play in these things. Will you be able to play in the Ryder Cup? Does it demean it if you can't?
And he's only won PGA Championship and U.S. Open.
Right. So you're only going to be able to, because you get those exemptions for life.
Because the USGA runs the majors, right? Not the
Correct,
PGA.
not the PGA.
So it's sort of OLA, MSL.
Sure. And the USGA will not tell guys like Brooks Koepka and Phil Mickelson that you can't come back. No. They will not.
Last week, I mean, maybe it was cherry-picked what they showed on the broadcast, but Phil received very warmly. People still like him.
Oh, of course.
I think this is a case where the media makes more out of it than the average fan. The average fan who's showing up at Brookline, Massachusetts to watch the golf tournament doesn't care about golfers who play.
You still want to see a pro golfer hit a pro shot, right? 330 off the tee, drill it within, dart it within 6 feet of the cup.
They've long thought that trying to apply morality is not in the purview of a sports fan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
As long as we get Rory at the Canadian Open, that's all I care about.
Sure.
That's it.
Heck of a performance.
That Live Golf Tour, that's what offers, right? Now the PBS is on. They're in the press junket. PBS wasn't there when Tiger went off and won by 18 strokes in the U.S. Open, when he finished 15 under and Els finished 3 over, and he was second.
There's some events now in the PGA that are going to offer, I think, be cutless. So there is a ripple
like
effect.
Live.
There is a ripple effect, no doubt. Of course, we will keep an eye on that. Greggy Norman going out there and just recruiting like nobody's biz.
The great white shark.
The Golden State Warriors won the Larry O'Brien Trophy. They had their parade a little bit earlier. Mark, in your opinion, where do they rank among modern dynasties now? Let's peel this one back a bit.
This is a late one for me. This is New England Patriots for me. New England had a 10-year span where they didn't win.
Yep.
So they won early, they won late. This one is different. So you win in 15, you lose in 16, you win in 17, you win in 18, you lose in 19. Mm-hmm. Right?
Then you're invisible for 2 years.
Durant blows up. Clay blows up.
They're literally in the draft lottery.
The draft lottery. Yeah. They've got to retool here. Clay comes back. So coming all the way back, but you know what the parade shows? This will be the future of parades you watch. Now, guys, you see they're wearing these shirts. Steve Kerr's wearing a shirt night. Mm-hmm. When Curry gave him the sleepy time there in Boston. But it's all these Draymond, the clapback from guys like Klay Thompson, where, what are they going to say now? Curry screaming that in the dressing room. What are you going to say now? What are they going to say now? This will be the narrative now going forward. It'll be, y'all thought we were dead. And as soon as there's any sort of calamity like that and they win, it'll be next year if Kyrie wins with the Lakers. He'll wear something that will troll Boston, or he'll wear something that trolls the Nets. That's what'll happen now.
I love Draymond Green's antics on Twitter. He tweeted, I think it was Monday night or Sunday night, can't wait for Game 7.
Yeah.
That's so good.
But Draymond was right, though, when he got on there and he said, you guys, the media, you're always talking about it's going to come down to points and it's going to come down to who scores. And we just win. We just win, man. We've won 4.
Well, he even said it. He said, I'm in their head. And everyone in Boston was like, oh, no, you're not. But
Draymond has done Draymond-type things. He's
trying to think.
Up.
So if we think of just dynasties, Bulls, modern time.
Absolutely.
Modern time.
Yeah.
So post 1990?
Bulls is the top of the mountain.
Bulls, Lakers, like Shaq, Kobe, Lakers, 3 in a row is still always going to be super impressive.
San Antonio's got to be in there.
Well, this is the conversation: do you reward Golden State over San Antonio, or do you look at San Antonio and say, yeah, they never went back to back?
Yeah,
but
they won
50 games every year, and they basically won every other year, right? Like 99, 03, 05, 07. They hung around for a lot longer.
14,
which was one of the more dominant NBA finals that we've ever seen.
And there are 3 of Ginobili, Parker, Duncan.
Yeah.
What's different? Is it because it's in a tighter frame, tighter window? Maybe.
Yeah, because the Spurs, you mentioned how many years in a row with 50 wins?
Oh,
I think Duncan won 50 wins his whole career.
I was going to say, I think it's 14 years.
That's pretty dominant over a long stretch, but I think people care more about the consecutive championships than they do sprinkling in championships. If Tampa Bay wins their 3rd cup in a row,
That puts them in a different conversation.
than Chicago, who won 3 cups in 6 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think the word dynasty should have its own sort of. I'm not sure the Spurs could be a dynasty. Because I think a dynasty infers that there's been a dominance over a relatively short time period. You've won 4 times. Golden State is even maybe on the periphery. 5 straight NBA finals isn't enough. You won 3 of them. It's close. For me, it's not a dynasty.
Will Aaron Judge beat Roger Maris's 61, which is still the American League home run record?
Correct.
And for many of us, the one that we respect the most. I think he's faded off the pace a little bit, but as of 3 days ago, he was on pace for 65.
I hope he does.
He's got 25 right now, as of Tuesday.
That's tough to do, but he does have the right ballpark to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
He's
Yeah.
got the right division to do it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shallow ballparks in the
Yeah,
AL
there's a
East.
lot of rubber band boxes there. I hope he does. I like it. It's good for baseball.
Aaron Judge is a likable enough guy, too.
Absolutely.
It's not like he's like Barry Bonds, the scumbag, doing it.
What's the All-Star game record? Get to the break. What did Bonds have? 36?
39.
39.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
39.
The All-Star game's, what, early July?
Yeah, usually they play like mid-July.
I feel like it was 30. It was 39 because it beat. So Reggie Jackson had the record,
That's right. Jackson had the record. That's
and
right.
I think it was 38.
39 in 01.
Okay,
Right.
but the funny thing about Reggie Jackson was he totally faded, didn't even get to 50.
That's right.
Yeah, well,
Ended up with
Ohtani
37.
had 30 last year before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Which in itself is pretty
It was
impressive.
huge.
There's one year Delgado was flirting with 100 RBIs
Yeah, that's right.
at the All-Star
At the break.
which was always very, very impressive.
Yeah,
The home
the
run-
record for RBIs is Miguel Cabrera, 90 before the All-Star break.
That
The,
can't be
the
right.
home the
Is that
home
right?
run, maybe.
Yeah,
I feel like that's not right.
according to that, 30 home runs, 90 RBI.
The home
That
run
looks like a sketchy like Reddit link. Like
on
what is
Google.
that?
it's on Google.
All right, I'll take it.
What are
From
you on?
Yahoo
The,
Sports.
are you on the dark web there? What's with that?
BleacherReport.com. Ever heard of it?
Oh, tell me more about
Friend
it.
of the show, 2013.
Well, it's going to be. I agree with you. It's going to be fun to watch. I need something to get me back into baseball right now.
A home run chase in the dead of summer in baseball is fun. It is. It's fun. It brings that romanticism back to the game that you do lose. You don't have it in April and May. There's no romance in baseball. You get to June. Once you get to the end of June and into July, and then there is a story like that, you're getting to the All-Star break. There's a good story like Ohtani or like 35 home runs for Judge or something like that. You know, the Yankees are 30 games above 500. That brings that romantic element in because once you come out of the All-Star, you know the game starts to tighten up now.
Well,
Right.
in Canada, it feels like baseball season starts at Canada Day.
That's right.
That's when we see Rogers Center consistently get 40,000 plus if they're good.
Right. Father's Day.
Yeah.
well,
Look at Father's Day at the Dome.
44,000.
Right,
yeah.
44,000.
I think what makes it fun with that story, if Aaron Judge goes on that big run, I'm always a little bit hesitant because he has an injury past.
Yeah.
So it's not unlike he won't miss 10, 15 games down the line. And I feel like if you're going to go for 61, you better play
You got to play 150.
155,
Yeah,
like-
absolutely.
at least.
Yeah.
But the fun part is that, and not fun because I cheer for the Yankees, but I like the context of being a part of such a potentially great team, like a
Yeah.
team that might win 105, 110 games.
Yeah.
Versus we saw Giancarlo Stanton do this a couple of years ago with the Miami Marlins. He got
right.
to 59.
59.
But, I mean,
It's the Marlins.
the Marlins are like a
Yeah.
last place team. It just
Yeah.
doesn't have the same.
Nah.
I
Happened
think
to
part
step.
of it too is that it's the Yankees. Like everyone hates the Yankees.
Yeah.
But
Evil
I mean,
Empire.
yeah, like it's at the point where like if a Yankee sets this record, everyone's gonna pretend to be really upset about it. But at the end of the day, you're gonna
Deep
acknowledge
down,
how
if
cool
you're a
it is.
baseball traditionalist, you can respectfully hate it.
Yeah.
But the Yankees to win 105 ball games in the American League East with the talent you have, so subject to Baltimore. But Tampa Bay, Toronto, Boston, jeepers. That's tough.
I know like the hate for the Yankees is based on tradition, maybe.
Yeah.
They've literally won one World Series.
That's right. In 22 years.
It's just New York. I just
New
hate
York
everything
for
New
sure.
York.
And they
That
hate.
plays a role.
I can't justify
They're not even the big spenders really anymore. Like the Dodgers have become what the Yankees were for
No kidding.
15
I
years.
can't justify why I hate the Rangers. I just do. Like the New York Rangers. Just anything from New York. It's not for me.
Messier, man.
Yeah.
He's from Edmonton.
Speaking of hockey, I re-envisioned the way back Wednesday quiz.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
So the category, gentlemen, Conn Smythe Trophy winners.
Are we going now?
Oh, okay.
We're going to go. Let me preface this by saying we're going to go and we're just going to go tit for tat. Like you guys are going to start rhyming off
Do you
Conn
have a pen
Smythe
and paper
Trophy
to
winners.
keep down score?
I've got. I'm
You
gonna bring
won't.
up
You
the,
won't need it. You won't need a piece of paper.
I'll hold it up on my hands. Don't worry.
Trust me. You'll run. The one fist will be fine.
No, I know a few. Don't worry.
I'm not worried.
Don't worry.
Would you both concur that this is fairly friendly?
I would say this is fairly friendly.
It's not friendly, but it's fair.
There's a list of 50 names that you're going to be able to pull from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I know 49.
Here I thought it was going to be like, oh, easy now. Here I thought it was going to be something like hockey players that start with the letter V or something.
Billy Lano,
Billy Lano, there, you would have had me 1-0.
Victor Hedman. Okay.
Just for those who might not know,
Yeah.
the Conn Smythe Trophy is an annual award given to the most valuable player for his team in the playoffs. The winner is selected by the Professional Hockey Writers Association at the conclusion of the last game of the Stanley Cup Final. The trophy was presented by Maple Leaf Gardens Limited in 1964 to honor Conn Smythe, the former coach, manager, president, and owner-governor of the Maple Leafs. There have been a total of 47 players who have won the trophy, and 5 players who have won the trophy as a member of the losing team. So we'll throw that out there right there.
So you're keeping score?
Yeah, we're just, like it's
All
going
right.
to be.
Who's going first?
Let me get the list in front of me here.
How does that work? Home field advantage?
All right.
Yeah.
I think, capital PTBO. Give me one here.
Do you want me to go in order? Okay.
Yeah, start 50 years ago.
1965, Jean Beliveau.
John
I
Beliveau
didn't think
was
he was actually going to do it.
the absolute first to win the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Jean-Sébastien Giguère.
J.S. Giguère, the last one to win as part of a losing team, 2003. 1-1.
1966, Roger Crozier.
Oh, he's actually doing it.
Roger Crozier, who was the first one to win on a losing team
Correct.
for the Detroit Red Wings.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. He
Yes.
was the first. Sidney Crosby.
Sidney Crosby ×2.
Correct.
So do I get
You
2
got
points?
2? No,
No.
that's a little suspicious.
Yeah,
I don't
come
know
on.
about that.
I won't go in order anymore. We'll make it fair.
He's getting lost.
Bobby Orr, 1970 and 72.
Bobby Orr ×2. Good job.
Patrick Waugh.
The only 3-time Conn Smythe Trophy
Correct.
winner,
So I got 5 points between Waugh and
Patrick
Crosby.
Waugh.
Nah, you don't. Let's go off the board here. Reggie Leach,
Reggie Leach
76.
won it as a member of a losing team to get swept in the
Correct.
final,
Got
which is
swept in the
crazy.
final, yeah.
19 goals that year. That was, it's still a share of the record.
Andrei Vasilevsky.
Last year, does that mean Matty's running out already?
He's
No,
four.
no, the
He's
fact
4
that
4.
Mark ditched the chronological order after 2 years.
Don't
says more.
don't get upset, big fella. I can always reach back into the bag. We'll just keep going here. Yeah. Mario Lemieux.
Mario ×2. Sure. 91, 92.
Evgeny Malkin.
Malkin, the one that broke my heart, 2009.
Martin Brodeur.
No. Oh, that's huge.
Uh-oh.
That's a strike early in this game.
Brodeur didn't win in 2000.
No.
Oh my God.
Alexander Ovechkin.
Yes.
Thank you.
2018.
Cheapers.
You're staggered right
Oh
now.
yeah. Okay.
he's
No, we'll
shook.
go.
Like,
We're gonna
this
go.
is Buster Douglas.
Don't
just
worry. We're
landed
going
one on
back here. Okay. Wayne Gretzky. We're
Wayne
going back.
He goes
I had
safe
to
with
go.
Wayne
Like,
Gretzky.
oh my God.
×2. How did he not win 3 Conn Smythes? Yeah, ×2. Wayne Gretzky.
Ooh. Tim Thomas?
Tim Thomas, 2011.
I wasn't too confident in that one.
Bernie Perrant.
Bernie Perrant ×2. The first one to do it back to back. Only goaltender to ever go back to back.
Jonathan Quick?
Jonathan Quick, 2012. He's maxing out the modern day here, Mark.
And I have to continue to reach back into the past. Billy Ranford.
The most random of the Edmonton Conn Smythe Trophy winners, Bill Ranford, 1990.
Patrick Kane?
Patrick Kane, 2013. Strike shortened year against Boston. So far, only one miss coming from my man Million over here.
Yeah, jeepers. I was sure on Marty Brodeur. Okay. Jeepers. Brian Leach.
Brian Leach, 94. First non-Canadian to win the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Now I'm starting to spin a bit
He's
here.
done. He's done.
Hold on a minute. Andrzej Kopitar?
That is a strike against you.
Okay. So now we're tied. Broder killed me. Okay.
I forgot the quiz music.
Yeah, okay.
Now the tension's high.
Now the tension's back.
You're allowed, by the way, on the fly, you're allowed one more strike.
Each?
Yeah.
Or just in total?
One more strike.
One more strike. Give me Billy Smith.
Billy Smith, 1983.
Oh. Mike Bossy?
Mike Bossy, 1982. Let's max out the Islanders here.
Denny Podven.
That is a strike.
So I just
You
have to name one.
Yes.
Get out of here.
Wow. Oh, I'm going to choke this too. Cam Ward.
Oh, he went save with the 2006 Cam Ward.
Let's go!
Oh, you see, I don't know enough from 2000 on.
If
I
you're
don't know
looking-
anything from before 2000.
Yeah.
If you're looking at
jeepers.
Islanders, Trottier, Goring, Bossy,
Oh,
Smith.
Butch Goring, that's right.
Somehow no one said Guy Lafleur, no one said Ken Dryden.
Yeah,
I was being respectful and leaving the Habs out of
the
it.
late
Except for
70s
Patrick.
Habs, that's a crapshoot for me. I should have said Ken.
No one said Stevie Y.
That's
The
it.
one you wanted in 2000, Scott Stevens.
Stevens.
Who was Anaheim's? Was it Niedermeyer? Scott Niedermeyer?
Scott Niedermeyer.
Okay, that's what I was going to say instead of Cam Ward there.
Henrik Zetterberg, Jonathan Taves.
Oh, yeah.
Who won for
Zetterberg.
LA in 2014?
Justin Williams. That would have been a
Come on.
real... Brad Richards.
That's where I thought Kopitar
Richards I
was.
had him.
Lidstrom? No, come on.
We
guys.
left Red Wings out.
Joey Sakic. New Jersey 95, Claude Lemieux.
Claude Lemieux, yeah.
That's a random one.
I should
Al
have known
McInnes,
that too.
89
89,
Flames.
yeah, of
I
course.
like this new format. I could do this one.
Ronnie Hextall, 87.
Oh, Hextall too.
Mark
Jeepers.
Messier, nobody went to the
Yeah, I
well.
wasn't sure on Messier. I didn't know.
He won the first one for
84.
the Oilers. I could have gone Dave Keon, Glenn Hall, Serge Savard. That one might have
Oh,
been
yeah.
off the board.
Savard is 69.
Yvonne Cornway, Larry Robinson. And Bob Gainey, Peterborough's own, 79.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
There's
I
some
kind of
great,
like that format. It's like
I love it. I'm undefeated.
Sport. Okay.
Sporkle?
That's it. No, that's enough. Then fine.
Victor Hedman, Ryan O'Reilly.
Oh, yeah, Ryan
well.
O'Reilly. Yeah.
I think that pretty much covered everybody. What about Whippy's own Joe Nieuwendyk?
Yeah, that's right.
99 Dallas Stars. Maybe one that probably would have tripped you guys up was 97, Mike Vernon.
I would have never.
That
Oh,
was
my
a Red Wing
gosh.
team
Would have never guessed Mike Vernon.
No.
in a million years.
Give me
If
$2
I had to
million.
look at the most random, I mean, Ryan O'Reilly might shake out to be pretty random in the grand scheme of things, but Vernon, Ranford,
Claude Lemieux.
Ranford was lights out, though.
he was.
5-game series, let 7 goals in or something.
He
8
was.
goals.
Justin Williams.
Justin
is
Williams.
pretty-
Those would
pretty
probably be
random.
the three that I would say.
Williams was clutch, though.
He was.
Yeah, Mr. Game 7.
But if you
Yeah.
did like this one's not like the others,
Yeah.
Ron Hextall too, maybe.
Played
on a
27
losing
games
team.
that year.
Yeah.
The playoffs.
Anyways, that
was
was
fun.
fun.
That was
I like
fun.
that one, eh?
Yeah, edit that for TV. So we'll look at the other celebrations come down. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I like it, Mercier. Way to go. Good
Got
for
to
you.
shuffle everything up.
Oh,
once in
yeah,
a
you got to
while.
keep it fresh.
Yes, yes. Century 21 Lakers, they're in action.
Yes.
Against the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club.
Yes.
And look, after a hokey-pokey stop-start, what happens? Oakville backs out. It looks like there's a new commissioner, new vision, 4 teams, at least for the rest of this year. Can we just not have any more?
No more
Can we
drama.
just keep going?
Yeah.
Let's
No
just keep
kidding.
going no matter what.
Yeah. So what do the Lakers have left after this week? They have 4 home games left, 6 on the road. 12-game season or 13-game season or whatever it's going to shake out to be. It ends early too.
Yeah.
Like it's over like end of July. That's it. So then I get like the Man Cup. I didn't read if the Man Cup's any different. I can't imagine it is. So the men will be away for in August, and then you'll reconvene for the Man Cup in Ontario.
I'm sure there's business reasons. I didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of Oakville.
Yeah.
But it seems strange that you'd just be like, oh, we'll be done for the year. Like, in what world? Like,
Yeah.
that is so strange.
I know.
And I don't look at them as like a bottom rung team. Like, they have a nice facility.
I think
that Oakville-Brampton rivalry. They're not getting the ticket sales from it.
I think
Must
if
be
you check out the attendance figures though in Oakville,
Not good.
I'm pretty sure they're like 400 a night. Like it's struggling. They're not going under because they're getting 4,000 people a night. That's not what's happening, I'm sure.
Well, it'll be fun to have the opportunity to at least make it to the PMC for a couple of different games.
Oh yeah. Get up there in the Lakers alumni box with our man, Pete Dalladay. Peter.
Shout out.
Oh yeah.
Golf tournament.
Golf tournament coming
Coming
up. That's right, Friday. That'll be a good Lakers event. We've been very fortunate. We're going to give 2 Capital PTBO hats as prizes to the alum.
It's been fun to watch sort of the buildup of the Lakers alumni. And I know our
Yes.
friend Pete Dalladay, he's been doing a lot with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Pete's alumni do stuff similar, but I don't know. I don't catch wind of that.
I'm more fond of Lakers alumni, and this is just not recently, but just here in the store, from the standpoint that not many people do. It's different when the Petes they've had terrific players over the years that have played for this organization, but the Lakers have had all of the big players.
Yeah.
They've had so many big ones. So, maybe you take it for granted because it's in your own backyard type thing. I don't know.
Could be.
But it's grown, and now the alumni has shifted their focus, and now we have to start generating interest for the players that have done, that have played in the 2000s. Mm-hmm. Now it's time to get away from those 70s and 80s guys. Those guys are, celebrate and give them their due, but it's also just as important for the guys that played 90s, which is a bit of a tough decade for Lakers lacrosse, but into the 2000s too. That's fun.
This was a lot of fun, this particular program.
Except for the Conn Smythe Trophy thing was great.
That's going to bother him.
No, for
I
sure.
know.
The amount of guys I left on the table.
You were literally like a minus 800 Bodog favorite.
I know.
To win that. And then Matt starts
Are we bringing
chipping
betting
away.
commercials into this one?
Yeah,
Let's go.
we should. No kidding.
This has been the Capital PTBO Sports Show, an MNC podcast production. And thanks for listening, and thanks for watching on your TV. Peterborough Lindsay, thanks to Dave Feely and Dan Malta and the crew. Special shout out to our fact checker, Brett Black. Couldn't do it without Brett getting me that list of Conn Smythe Trophy winners. The main event, Mark Million, and the maestro himself, Matt Latour, on the board over there. I'm Jordan Mercier. You can check us out anytime, wherever you do your downloading. You can also visit us at the Capital PTBO at 370 George Street in Peterborough, or online anytime at thecapitalptbo.ca. Have yourself a fantastic week and weekend, and we will talk again next week.